All right. Hello and welcome, everybody. I am so excited because I have my dear friend and one of the brilliant speakers at Mastermind Millions Live in Las Vegas, Suzanne Evans, with us today. Hello, Suzanne. How are you?
I am so amazing, and even better because I'm with you.
Wow. I like that answer. It's a good deal. So listen, these little interviews are aimed at helping people to understand about value of masterminds, what they're going to learn at Mastermind to Millions in Las Vegas in June, and all of the above. So are you cool? We just dive on in?
Let's dive.
Okay. So one of the most important questions that I think is significant in this process is, I know you've been a part of masterminds. I know you've been leading masterminds. If we were to start with mastermind experiences for you, like what was one of your most powerful and meaningful experiences of being in a mastermind that created either an experience, a breakthrough, a result that has made a meaningful difference in your world and in your business?
Well, a couple of things. First of all, my very first coaching experience, I hired a life coach. That's how I learned about coaching. And she started talking to me about masterminds. And then I joined a mastermind group that not only did it change my life, and I've been in, obviously, as you know, Jay, many, many mastermind groups since then. But that first mastermind group, not only did it change my life, it continues to change my life. Let me just give you a few things that came out of that first mastermind group. I crossed the $1 million mark.
Ooh.
I launched my first product online because I'd only been doing coaching, right, and leading my own masterminds. While I was in that mastermind, I did my first 3-day event where I launched a mastermind myself, and we had such a huge reception, I actually had to launch 3 separate mastermind groups.
That sounds vaguely familiar in terms of our last time in Vegas.
Exactly. But here's one of the really cool things is I've made several connections in that group of a few people who are still actually very good friends of mine, a few people who we still joint venture partner together. And my marketing manager and my copywriter was a member of that group. And he's also one of my lead coaches now. And so we've had a 5 to 6 year relationship, right? That has been incredible. So I look back on that very first mastermind group, not including any of the mastermind groups that I've been in since then. I'm in 4 masterminds this year. Mm-hmm. And, so when you say, how do you get to $7 million? I like to say one mastermind at a time.
That's a good answer, by the way. It's a very good answer. Cool.
Yep.
So those are some epic, big milestones. So I know obviously that you lead a bunch of masterminds. Do you have like a favorite story of somebody who was in one of your masterminds that just sort of sticks with you? I know I have these sort of top 3 stories. It's like, man, that never would have happened without this process. Do you have a little?
I do. So I will use Pamela Bruner as an example. I know you know Pamela most likely.
Love Pamela. Yes, and in fact, she's going to be in Vegas.
Oh, great. Yeah. So Pamela was when I went to an event where I joined that first mastermind that I was telling you about. At that event, Pamela and I went to dinner. I was doing a couple of $100,000 at the time. Pamela was just starting out, and she said, I think you're actually a great coach for me. So I actually got a client from being a part of that mastermind. And Pamela became a client. And Pamela was actually a harpist at the time. She was making 0. I think she told me to correct the story not long ago, and she said, that's not true. I was making $150 a month. And Pamela went on over the course of a couple of years to have $1 million business, to co-author a book with Jack Canfield. I mean, she's one story. Shanda Sumter joined my mastermind about 4 years ago, and she was actually making about $180,000 when I met her, but she had stayed there. This year, she's going to cross the $5 million mark. Nice. Ree Perez is a great example. I met Ree. And Ree had just been laid off. He was on unemployment, and he was wanting to design a bag for men to take to the gym. And I said, how are you going to fund that? You have no money. And I said, what other skill set do you have? He goes, oh, well, I work for one of the biggest branding agencies in the country. And I said, well, that sounds like we can make some money off of that. Yep. Let's do that. He joined my lower level mastermind that was for people making under 100,000. His business grew so quickly, he moved up to the higher level mastermind. And that's something some of your audience may want to be thinking about too, Jay, just like you and Joshua do, having multi-level masterminds, right?
Yes.
Where people can join at multi-levels. And of course, he now has $1 million branding agency. So I could actually go on and on because I've been very blessed and very fortunate to have really, really amazing mastermind members.
That is cool. And you know what? I actually just met Ree at Mastermind Talks in Ojai, and he's a cool guy with a wicked sense of humor. We had a couple of good times. Very cool. Well, I love that. Those are great inspirational stories. So in Vegas, at Mastermind to Millions Live, we obviously have collected a tremendous amount of brilliant people with unique perspectives. And you are, of course, number one, a part of our team and help us organize and run these events, of which, you know, Joshua and I are deeply grateful and will forever be. But this year, we actually have you on the stage as well, which I am totally excited to see. So
which is very dangerous.
I was warned by Melanie that I should have one of those, you know, like one of those great big hook sticks ready at the side in case it was necessary. You know, the cane with a little hook in case you just got multi-territorial on the stage. But I have great faith it'll be fine. Some of the jokes are just for me. So share with us a little bit about what you're going to be talking about, because I think that it is imperative related to our first pillar, which is perfect positioning. It is imperative in terms of our third pillar, fill your mastermind with ease, what you're going to be sharing with us. So a couple little teasers or highlights of what people will learn would be fantastic.
Well, I'm going to talk about video. And I'm going to talk about video. You know, for me, I grew my business to $1 million, and then we did a couple of million. And then when we added video in, that was the year we went from a little under 2 million a year to like 4 million. We doubled and just exploded. And I really believe that video is the single best marketing tool and strategy that you can use, whether it's for filling masterminds, launching masterminds, setting up, consultations to potentially put people in your masterminds, promoting one of your wine and work evenings like you talk about, right? Yep. Video would be great for that, because we can't. Here is the architecture of conversion. Your lowest level of architecture is email to email, right? That's the lowest way you're going to convert someone into becoming a client or customer of yours. The next way is phone to phone, and the best way is eyeball to eyeball. Well, we're all individuals, and we can't be everywhere all the time. And so the reason video is so powerful and such a great tool is because it allows us to almost be there, right, in person, and to make a connection, and that know, like, and trust factor to really be amped up in that connection. So the bottom line is that video is not a nice marketing strategy. It's not a, if I had time to, it is a necessary marketing strategy these days. And there's also some very fundamental ways in which you need to be doing video, and the way you should structure your videos and how you should release them and what types of videos you can do. So it's a comprehensive talk that myself and the creative director of the studio, Jimbo Marshall, are going to be giving together, because I'm the marketing strategic structure side of video, and he's the creative, entertaining creation side of video. And so we put those together to make, to work with clients and customers and to teach how to make video really profitable.
Wow. Wow. And, you know, here's one of the things that I think is so important, because when we dive into this idea of perfect positioning, which is, you know, who am I to lead my particular tribe? What is the promise of my mastermind? Who are the exact ideal members of my mastermind? Those pieces are really difficult to scale, in my humble opinion, in any other way other than face-to-face, or as near as we can get face-to-face, which is video. So that is going to work together in a marvelous way. So for those of you who are sitting at home going, it's like, yes, I want to lead a mastermind, but I'm in a remote area, or I'm not going to be able to actually get, you know, access to the type of people I want. I just want to emphasize this, as I say this all the time, is that we are stepping into the golden age of masterminds, which we get to find our tribe and connect with our tribe anywhere on planet Earth. And the way that happens is with video, which is one of the reasons I'm so excited that Suzanne is coming and talking about this. Now, I did a little research knowing that you were going to be talking about this. And to put in perspective, there's, I don't know, well, 18 billion emails hit my inbox every single day. So, global traffic for emails is quite literally in the trillions and above. But here's an interesting stat that as of today, they say 70% of North American internet traffic in the evenings is from video. And the projection is in 2019, 80% of the world's internet traffic will be video. So the honest God truth is, if you don't have video, you don't have shit in terms of communicating, marketing, and engaging with your tribe.
Absolutely. Well, I could go on and on. We actually will be sharing a lot of stats with you, but just a couple to put out there. There is over your conversion for people who buy online. It takes the conversion up by 80% if there is a video to complement what they are purchasing. I mean, that alone, you should just stop. Don't need to hear any other stat and go, yes, we should be doing video. Cool. To know that, just this year, I can't remember if it's 2 billion or 3 billion. What's another billion people? New people are coming online. We forget that there are huge populations of the world that haven't even made it to the internet yet. Mm-hmm. And so when you look at billions, right? So when you look at that and think about the reach of video, also, I can give you stats from Campbell's Soup and Google and Apple and all of these places that, their number one converter is storytelling, and the fastest, best way to tell a story is via video.
Yeah.
So it absolutely is it is the strongest conversion tool that we have right now. It was so funny. I was laying in bed last night with my partner, Melanie, and I thought of something, and I was like, I've been meaning to show you this. And I Googled something really quickly, pulled up the video, and we're laying in bed. And I had this moment that it's going to make me sound like a senior citizen. But I had this moment where I was like, we're laying in bed, holding a computer in our hands, watching a video. Holy shit, anything is possible.
Yes.
And that's what video allows you to put into the world, is that anything is possible.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Anywhere, anytime, any place. And as the truth of the matter is, I know both you and I actually like working on our computers, but we're kind of dinosaurs. The reality is this is how it's happening. It is all going mobile, and that's going to be primarily through the video, whether that's FaceTime, whether that's our recorded videos, all of those pieces. So I'm really excited to hear this process, and I know for certain that there are a ton of people who are going to be thrilled to hear this, because my history and background, as you well know, and some of you watching, listening to this may not know this, but my entire history is face-to-face, heart-to-heart, belly-to-belly. And I'm still a little bit, dinosaur wired, that's my preference. Now, I do masterminds online, I do, all of those things, but there's still this innate preference. There's no question about it. But that's changing. And what Suzanne is going to teach you in Mastermind to Millions Live in Vegas in June is how to bridge that gap. So it doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter how close you are, it doesn't matter what your preferences are. You can use the technology and the tools to really tap into this golden age of masterminds. And another way of saying that is the golden age of building niched communities in fast and easy ways. That rocks. I love that. So last question, and then I'll let you off the hook, my dear, and I appreciate you making time for this. I know how busy you are.
My pleasure. We
have people at home who are still on that fence of, should I go to Vegas or shouldn't I go to Vegas? And my emphatic stand is this: if you are interested in adding or improving masterminds in your life and in your world and in your business, get your ass to Vegas. This is the preeminent event, the only one that exists in the world that serves and supports subject matter experts to scale and grow masterminds. Get your ass to Vegas. So I might have a slightly biased view, however. So if you were talking to somebody who is uncertain about this, what would you say to them?
A couple of things. So first of all, I've shared what my experience has been in being in masterminds and also leading my own mastermind. So for me, it's been a profit rocket. I mean, for certain. But let me just lay this out very clearly for everyone. There is an order in which you make money in a business. It is active income. Typically, it's been leveraged income. Then it's passive income. And the beauty of masterminds is it really can fit all three of those models, actually, depending on where you are in your own business growth. So if you're someone who goes, why haven't I made this work? Why am I still struggling? Why have I not hit six figures? Or why have I not hit, 250,000? It is probably because you have not stopped to create a solid mastermind structure. I made my first $1 million all off of masterminds, with the exception of one little virtual mastermind program that I led that was still a mastermind, but it was more leveraged income. And that was only about $100,000 of that $1 million of income. So if you're advanced, I was working with someone yesterday, Jay, who makes several $1 million and incredible entrepreneur, and they haven't leveraged the power of masterminds to add another $1 million revenue stream onto themselves. So whether you're just starting out and can't figure out why you haven't broken that multiple six-figure or six-figure ceiling, or you're advanced and you're going, what's my next vertical or my next phase of adding on potential revenue streams, Masterminds is one of the fastest, easiest, and most effective ways to do it. And the reason I say most effective ways is because also when you launch Masterminds, it opens up the possibility of cross-sells and upsells, right? Your highest level clients are always going to be your best buyers, and Masterminds are typically your highest level clients. So no one has stopped until Jay and Joshua have done this and said, how do you frame this? How do you format it? What is the formula? How do you bring people in? Then how do you lead them? How do you teach them? How do you train them? How do you keep them renewing year after year? How do you make them successful? How do you make them happy? And then how do you leverage this and make even more money? And this is the formula step by step for doing this. And I have led masterminds for years. I have been in them and I have led them. And when I was at the event last year, took multiple pages of notes while I was running around supporting the event because we partner on the event, for making notes for myself to improve the enrollment of my masterminds. And on top of that, looking at how I make my mastermind members more successful. So if you have ever considered a mastermind, you must be there. If you have not considered a mastermind, you're delayed in registering because you don't even have a business model that's going to be successful without masterminds if you're in the education space. So I could obviously go on for an hour saying why you should be there, but I think from someone who's made $7 million this year and over the last 7 to 8 years has made over $40 million, I think that you should take my advice and say, this is a fast path to cash, and it's an intelligent leverage path to a sustainable business. Get your ass to Vegas, or you're going to be behind.
Yeah. And the only thing that could make that stronger is if there was somebody that had some real tangible results through creating masterminds that would be like inspirational in nature somehow.
Yeah, right?
So, and I guess that I want to end it on that note, which is this one fundamental truth, is that in the world of marketing, in the world of building what we're going to call educational businesses, we serve coaches, we serve authors, we serve subject matter experts. So you just need to have this subject matter expertise, this experience that people want to engage with. In that world, there are 12 billion different routes and ways to build and scale a business. And I want to just make a distinguishing piece here that is really important, and it's inspired by, your results. Most of the ways that are, quote, sold online are unbelievably complex, take an inordinate amount of technology and skills, take 2 years to build a freaking list that gets even close to be able to knock this thing out of the park. And what both Suzanne and I have done, and if we go to numbers, we're actually very similar in terms of numbers, except that I took another about 18 years to do that in terms of we had this very, regional business that we weren't interested in scaling. So we had this little tiny thing. But the truth is, we have both done in that neighborhood of about $40 million using masterminds as the backbone. That's at radically different scales. I mean, we did it with, 8 people in a room in Calgary, Alberta. You've done it globally. But the part I want you to just understand is that this is compared to technology and launches and making a list and giving away a $7 ebook. This is so much more direct and so much more powerful and so much more profitable. You need to learn this, to even just educate yourself about what models work, what models take what amount of effort, and come hang out with a bunch of us who have done it and can answer the questions. So anyway, I just want to say, Suzanne.
Yeah, it goes without saying, the networking, the connecting, the other speakers that you're going to have that aren't going to be talking about just masterminds. I mean, all of that goes without saying, that it's an added bonus and, cherry on top. But really, if you're in the education and expert space, it's a not to be missed. So I can't wait to see you in Vegas.
Yeah, me too. Take care. Thank you so much. I will see you there.
Awesome.
And gang, click the button, get yourself registered, and we will see you in Vegas, and we'll knock your socks off, and you will have a new business model that will be amazing. Okay, take care, Suzanne. We'll talk soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.